we have leverage with 2009 comps, 2010 comps. So you can always go back to that market pulse and see what was going on back in those times. Now, we're not as close as bad as that right now, not even by far.
It may get there though, man, because this is a different type of animal right here.
And what's crazy about it, Jamel, is that we're still in a whole bubble of uncertainty. We don't know
what's going to happen. That's right.
And we're not trying to be negative in this call, but we're getting real with you. This is some real stuff.
Right now is the time. Right now is really the time to be a wholesaler, but lowering your numbers, and you want to get into creative ways of investing, primarily because, think about it, realtors may not be experiencing this yet, but give it a few more weeks, maybe a couple more months. Realtors inventory is going to skyrocket because people are not going to be able to get loans from banks. And if that's the case, if people can't get a loan, houses are going to sit on the market a lot longer.
Yep.
And if the houses are sitting a lot longer and realtors can't sell houses, you contact these realtors and let them know, look, send me everything you can't sell. I'll negotiate something with the seller. At the end of the day, you're going to be able to pick up, if you use, creative real estate investing strategies, you're going to be able to clean up. You don't need money to do it.
My very second deal ever, 2009, was a subject to deal.
Look at that.
Never forget, man. This guy was willing to pass over, let us take over his payments, pass over his equity. Got it under contract, subject to 73. He was worth 150. Never forget that. Granted, no, he owed 65. We took over subject to for 73, so he walked away basically with $8,000 in his pocket because he wanted to buy like a camper. He wanted to get rid of his house to buy a camper to live in. That was his dream.
Yeah,
and that was a strange situation, but that was my very first subject to. That's one of many ways that Jamel is talking about.
Yeah.
And it's gonna go back to subject. People are not going to these properties, but be careful if you're gonna go out there, especially if we get in a down market with subject to taking over, because you don't want to over leverage taking over somebody's loan.
Right.
That's, really worth $100,000, but you took it over for 175 in a down market. So just be careful and we have leverage with 2009 comps, 2010 comps. So you can always go back to that market pulse and see what was going on back in those times. Now, we're not as close as bad as that right now, not even by far.
It may get there though, man, because this is a different type of animal right here.
And what's crazy about it, Jamel, is that we're still in a whole bubble of uncertainty. We don't know
what's going to happen. That's right.
And we're not trying to be negative in this call, but we're getting real with you. This is some real stuff. But every day is getting worse. I don't even look at the news, but the first child, when I turned on our TV, I was turning on my daughter's TV this morning, and the first thing that the default channel comes on is the news on the cable box. And I just caught my attention, and it was like 100,000 new cases in 4 days in the U.S. I'm like, damn.
Wow.
100,000 new cases. And I was on the phone yesterday with the NFL guy. I'm hooking him up with basically a loan or a line of credit for a property. And he doesn't know much about what we know in the real estate business. He was just like on the phone. He's like, "Hey man, you think the banks are going to close and my loans not going through?" I was like, "Man, listen." I said, "If the banks close, like meaning shut their doors, saying we're not open, the internet's going down."
Yeah.
It's going to be the purge. It's literally going to be purged outside.
Yeah.
Life purge. The banks shut down, and I feel like the banks going to shut down, the internet's going down.
Yeah,
that's it. That's the end. I can't shut down. Now, I talked to a vice president to a local bank yesterday, and she did mention they're still working in the office. She said, "Fortunately, this is great news. Still working in the office." She said, "Worst case scenario, we're not going to shut down. However, worst case, we'll be working from home." And she's like, "Beautiful thing about technology, we can utilize technology to still, issue out financing or whatever type of lending you need." So I thought that was great news. Worst case, working from home, but banks closing.
It's just an adjustment, man. That's all it is.
Here's my predicament. 2020 is going to be the year where we just come to a conclusion that, hey, we just got a new virus in town, and we're just going to live with it just like the flu. Before we was even born, the flu had to become a birth. I mean,
right.
I don't know when flu came about. I know it before I was born, but at one time, I don't know if it was in the media like this because it wasn't on social media back in the days, but the flu came about one day, someday, many, many years ago. People get the flu all the time, Jamel.
Yep.
But with this coronavirus, I personally think the media is blowing it up.
Yeah.
In a way, like really blowing it up. And you know, when they put stuff out, that means
news has to be news, man. They got to have a story to tell.
And then the social media, people follow what the media tells them. They're gonna put it on social media, and now it's viral. But we'll see what happens here in our country. But to answer your question from about 10 minutes ago about buyers, I don't know if I fully answered that. But going back to 2009 about cash buyers, you just have to actively look on the MLS, or we use a software that let us know what the buyer. It gives us new data every day of like buyers, and you just got to actively look and see who's buying. It's always going to be buyers in any market.
Right.
It's buyers right now. You just got to know who's buying. Have your agent send you cash sales. Now, again, this is still new information, but in the next 30 days, you can look and be like, okay, who's been buying within this 30 days? And you can see who the fresh buyers are. Real investors are looking for ways to invest their money. Some investors, since the stock market is down right now, they're buying up stock, shares of stock. On the flip side, you have some investors buying Bitcoins. On the flip side, you have some investors right now taking their money out the stocks and looking at real estate. And those investors, you need to be like kind of like having your binoculars on and see who's buying in the newly market we've been having in the last couple of weeks. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man.
I think most definitely
90 days, bro. It's going to be so many deals on the table for cheap.
Time to do a little bit of this, man.
Nothing wrong with wholesaling. I went back to my story earlier about 2009. I was flipping. And I look back and I'm like, man, I wish I would have kept that $10,000 house where I know I could have got $750 in rent. Now it's gonna. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be as bad. It's possible it could be as bad as 2009. But in 60 to 90 days, Jamel,
it's gonna be time to clean up, man.
For the wholesalers that don't really have the money to go buy and holding, you're going to clean up by wholesale houses to guys like me and guys like Jamel. Again, 60 to 90 days is a long-term plan right now. That seems like forever because we're taking this day by day. And when you have a whole bunch of uncertainty going on of what the future is, 90 days seems like a long ass time.
Right.
So you can just start reactivating your leads. But if you haven't started marketing yet, do some cheap marketing with textmagic.com, get a list. What we're doing, and we really start hitting this list hard last week, was we're hitting people that have at least 5 mortgages out there. All right. We just took and that's not a big list.
Let's talk about this in a little more detail. I know you're kind of jumping into it. So let's talk about a 3-step process that everyone can take right now to really take advantage of what's to come, or just kind of position themselves right now to get ready for what's to come in this market shift.
Okay, so first of all, reactivate your leads if you've already been out there marketing. All right. When we say reactivate, just circle back around to your leads that you already had, the people that said no, they don't want to sell. Go back to that hot lead, short-term, mid-term, and long-term lead. Follow up with text magic, or I hope when you skip trace these leads, you got the emails too. You could do what Jamel and I do. We run Facebook ads with these leads, and these are cheap. These are cheap lead generations because you're reactivating and following up with them. And you just follow up with those leads. Follow up with them, and if you can get these things locked up, which you probably can right now, more so than ever, get a longer contract duration. So instead of 2 weeks or a month, put 60 to 90 days out, because I'm just guessing, I'm just projecting this, but I think 60 to 90 days is where you can really clean up and make a lot of money. I just contracted 11.3 acre for 1.3 million last week. She just got the contract last week. We put it out in 90 days. I put it out in 90 days, man. I feel like I do have some builders, but at that price point, with the price I'm trying to sell it for, it's going to be a longer, possibly a longer time to get it closed out. So I put it out 90 days. Same with your single family stuff. Put it out. If you get it on the contract tomorrow or today, just contract it out longer, just in case, buyers won't come out. More buyers will come out in that time frame, because I'm thinking 60 to 90 days you want to have.
It's going to start balancing out at that point.
Balancing out. That's just my guesstimate. Again, we're uncertain about this whole situation, but that's just a guesstimate of what I think.
Yeah.
What do you think, Mel?
And remember, a major reason why people are backing out, and a major reason why we're quickly dipping into a recession, is because nothing is open. There's no money coming into the economy. When the money stops, everything stops, right? So as things start, we start getting used to the effects of this coronavirus, and we start getting used to the effects of what's going on in the economy right now, and things start to open back up and money starts to come back in the market. We could be looking at 6 months where, things get right back to normal, or even be better than what it was. We don't know. We don't have a crystal ball to tell what the future is. But the point is, right now you want to be very, very, very conservative. So, like Antonio said,
sure.
Go back to your follow-up leads and do what you got to do. Use inexpensive marketing tactics. Don't double down on your marketing. It's not the smart thing to do. Double down on being smart and educate yourself.
At the end of the day, you want to make sure that you and or your family and your bills are good.
Yeah.
In the situation we're in, like if you have a nice nest egg or some money in the kitty that you can live with, are you okay for 60 to 90 days?
Right.
Some people, a lot of people may not be good, which is unfortunate, man. It's just sad.
Yeah.
That should be your priority right this second. If you all you have in your account right now is $1,000, $1,500, you can go the cheap 3-cent texting route. Textmagic.com. You can take a list of 1,000 records, and at 3 cents a text, that's $30. You can't get any better than that. And right now, people are at their home office or at home without a job. Tweak your message, like I said earlier. You're going to get the highest contact rate today because people are at home. Usually, my high contact rate is before the holidays, or right after the holidays in January. But this right here is all-time high.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I could definitely I concur with that, because I'm seeing the same results as well, man. So step number 2 would be what, Antonio?
Step number 2, as far as what you do in this market right here.
Yeah.
Step number 2 is to as far as if you, like I said earlier.
So we know that step 1 is to definitely go back to your existing leads.
Yeah,
reactivate the leads. What would you do next?
What you do next, if you are able to contact these people, and if you want to see the property, because I know a lot of people want to see property, especially wholesalers, they want to send out the deal to their cash buyer with pictures or video. I would set up if they're not able to, or they don't want you to go into the house physically because of the virus situation, which there's been some people telling us, like, no, set up an appointment virtually where you can FaceTime them or send them a Zoom link where you can record that whole virtual tour of the property. That way you can have that as the condition of the property when you're locking these properties up. That's what I would do. We just implemented this like 8 days ago, Jamel.
They can actually send you the video so you can send to your buyers list as well. So, either way, get some type of video footage of it so that you can see the condition. One thing that I do, I'm not sure if you incorporate this or not, but I use the square footage approach to estimate and repair. So, I use $10 per square foot if it's in, I basically asked the seller, to rate the house from a 1 to a 5.
Yeah.
And 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. And I tell them, look, if it's a 1 or a 2, I'm estimating $20 to $25 a square foot. If it's a 3 or 4, it's $15 a square foot. If it's a 5 plus, I'm doing $10 a square foot. So the average house, let's just say it falls in that $15 category on let's say a 2,000 square foot home. I know if it's 15, it's going to cost me 30 grand to do the work, so I can estimate my repairs right over the phone. I taught my virtual assistants how to do it. So we make offers right over the phone without ever actually seeing the house. Now we can confirm the condition by going and getting the videos and stuff. Mm-hmm. But just knowing your numbers over the phone, you can do this all day long and make offers right from home.
Yeah, I mean that being I come from, I used to do a lot of deals through online auctions. I mean, a lot of these properties you can't even go inside. Yeah, so that's basically how we did it, or we're just based worst case scenario. What's the worst? 1,000 square, two bedroom, 1 bath, probably 30 grand. 35 grand max. We just basically if you want to do the route of just like sight unseen, there's nothing wrong with that at all by far. Just base it off the worst case scenario. We use DocuSign. You probably use something similar, if not the same thing. So we don't have to meet these people face to face to sign a contract. A lot of people are out of state anyway. If we're targeting absentees, so you just send a DocuSign and they can sign it right from their phone or tablet or desktop. But be cautious for people listening to this. And I don't know when you're watching or listening to this podcast, but just be cautious of your message. Don't sound like you're just hungry about yourself. Because I know some people that's watching or listening to this could be on their first deal. And I'm going back to when I was in the business for starting out. I was hungry, man. I was just going at it. You want to be very, very, just be caring, man. I mean, just put some feeling behind it.
Be sincere in the message,
Yeah, people vulnerable. Like, I'm vulnerable. I'm sure you're vulnerable. And we're all vulnerable in some type.
We're all vulnerable.
Yeah, and so just don't be like, hey, I want to buy your house. I'm closing a week. Can you really close in a week right now? I mean, especially with the buyers, it's like 50-50, like you said, and every day is getting different. So you could just use the coronavirus, not use it, but just run your business model based off what we're going through right now.
Right.
Realistically, we're putting out contracts 60 to 90 days, man. I mean,
love it, man.
Yeah.
So we got revisit your leads. Step number 1. Step number 2, estimate the repairs virtually. Try to get a video or some type of footage.
Yep.
And then step number 3, use DocuSign. I'll provide a link in the description box, but use DocuSign, get your contract signed, and extend them out 60 to 90 days. 3-step process to still wholesale in today's market. And remember, there's always buyers no matter what the market condition is. If you have to sit on the property for a little while, eventually if you're marketing it at the right time, the right buyer will come and purchase that property. The only difference between now and what's the market that we experienced a couple of weeks ago is we're facing a situation that basically pointed the economy into a recession.
There's no sports. That's what that again. 2 weeks ago, it's no sports.
Yes, and no sports.
Crazy.
So, that's nuts.
It's no Disney, bro. We live in Disney. We can't take our daughter to Disney right now.
That's crazy. And you live in a tourist town, man. But the only difference, the real difference in business would be the houses are going to just take longer to sell. So make sure your contracts will reflect that extension period as well. I'm going to provide multiple links that you can go through in the description box and the show notes so that you can take advantage and educate yourself a little bit about how to take advantage of this market as well. And, that's really the best thing that you could be doing right now is educating yourself and then adjusting what you're doing.
For sure. And let me finish up one more thing real quick, Jamel. I don't know if I finished this list, but A good list to target right now, if you just wanted to start a new campaign outside of the reactivation, is targeting homeowners that have at least 5 mortgages, not on one house, but just 5 different loans out. Just they can have 5 different properties, 2 on one house and 4 on other houses, but at least 5 different mortgages. And that's usually landlords, and you can target them right now. Again, you know, if you do get these locked up, which you probably can get some locked up, extend your contracts out to, you know, where you can make it realistic. You can have more info and data in 60 to 90 days.
Right.
And then you'll have some fresh set of cash buyers in that time coming in from the stock market or cryptocurrency world, and they're ready to buy some properties. These would be your new cash buyers if you're looking at wholesale deals.
Absolutely. Now, remember, everybody was cocky when it was easy in real estate. So you had these landlords slamming the phone on you, or, you know, just asking astronomical pricing for what's going to be sold at a discount today. So just be mindful, guys. You know, there is opportunity. There's blood in the streets right now. And when people are fearful, what's the old adage? When people are fearful, then you take advantage of the situation. And that's exactly what you can do right now. So definitely, you know, keep educating yourself, keep listening to podcasts like this, even if it's not mine. I know, Antonio, didn't you have a podcast as well at some point?
I did. I actually, we put the podcast on halt, and we're basically been putting all our content on YouTube.
Got you.
Yeah, so YouTube, and obviously, you know, Instagram, we put, you know, content, you know, that's our channel for content as well. But YouTube, as far as the lengthy content, is on our YouTube channel or my YouTube.
I'm gonna link Antonio's YouTube video below as well. So definitely check out his YouTube. Definitely some good stuff all the way around. Obviously, this was a great call as well, real timely, and it was information that you guys really needed to hear right now, so that you can start making adjustments in your business. And as the market improves, obviously you make you can stick to the same strategies, and you slowly adjust as the market improves. You don't want to jump right back to what you were doing before. You want to do it slowly. So you want to change as the market changes, right? So right now you're changing on the other end, and as the market improves, you're going to change as it improves as well. But definitely, you know, if I were you and I were brand new in this business right now, you really should be listening to this call, to this podcast, and really incorporating what Antonio was talking about, because it's really gonna, you know, at the end of the day, when you talk to seasoned investors that have been through the struggle in real estate and they know what to do in certain circumstances, there's no way you're going to lose. And that's why having a coach or having some type of mentor is critical. It's a critical aspect of your business. I don't care what the investment is. At the end of the day, you know, you're going to invest into a coach or a mentor, or you're going to invest 10 times that amount trying to learn it on your own. And that's not to scare anybody. That's not to, you know, say that we're selling coaching or anything like that. That's, you know, that's not what we're trying to do here on this particular podcast. But even if you don't invest into a mentor with monetary value, try to find someone local that has the experience and work for them for free if you have to.
That's good.
Another good way to, you know, if you don't have the money, try to offer your services in order to learn the business and do it the right way. My first mentor, I didn't invest monetary value into, you know, the relationship. I basically gave him half of my deals, and you know, I bought a few properties off of him, and he introduced me to everybody that I knew, and it really took my business. I bought a couple of 100 houses because of that. That's so nice. Just know how to monetize or know how to maneuver your relationship so that it benefits everybody in it. It's not about you. Even if you don't really get the ultimate value out of the relationship, and the mentor is making most of the money, who cares? You're learning your value. How you're benefiting from it is you're learning a craft that will make you money for the rest of your life. So if you incorporate what you learn, then that's the difference maker, because education without action leads to nothing. So learn, incorporate, get out there and take massive action in order to get massive results. Antonio, it's been a real pleasure, man. Let me ask you a quick question. If you had to give our listeners some advice as to what to do right now, or some words of wisdom rather, what would those words be, and why should they listen to it?
I would say listen to Jamel podcast. I mean, it's nothing but gold content for one. And I will vet the people that you are studying, because I'm assuming people study different people, especially like they, go to one video, one book, and everybody has their own different tactics, and whatnot. But everybody's not doing deals, and everybody that's teaching, especially, I mean, so many gurus out there. Jamel and I are not gurus. I mean, we're actually in the business doing deals, but there's so many gurus that just got started 2 years ago, and they're teaching. So be careful who you're studying and vet those people. I personally right now would actually listen to more so people that's been in the business in at least a cycle or two, so they can tell you what's going on. And that's had some experience in the rough times and made it throughout those times. Because like I said, people, it's so many people. And Jamel, you've probably seen people teaching, sending out courses, coaching, and then been in business 1 or 2 years. They've done 20 deals off of this little mini bubble we've been in this last year or two, and they think they're experts. So be careful who you're studying and taking.
Absolutely, man. I 100% agree with that. And, you might have seen some recent stuff that I've been posting on Instagram about how you got the overnight guru thing happening. Nothing wrong with somebody trying to make an extra buck, but, have some experience before you try to show somebody something that you haven't mastered yourself. But yeah, man, I appreciate that. And, how can our listeners get in contact with you if, they wanted more information?
Yeah, they can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just type in YouTube, Antonio Edwards Real Estate. I'm pretty sure I'll be the first to pop up. And if you want to follow me on IG, I'm constantly active on Instagram. Just Antonio _J Edwards.
Perfect.
And follow. Send me a DM too if you got any questions. And Jamel, it was an honor to be on this episode, man. Hopefully your listeners or your watchers got some real vital information and content they can implement and take it their way.
Yeah, man, it's been a real pleasure. Really, really good call. Really authentic, which I love. Yep. And it's real timely as well, man. The information is definitely, it suits exactly what we're going through today. And I think it's going to help a lot of people out, man. So great information. I'm going to link all of Antonio's links in the description box. Be sure to check them out. And I'll talk to you guys on the next one.